Hello, it's Team Liquid here. I was calling to inquire about that good NA AWPer we ordered a few years ago. Oh, he's finally arrived. Nice one. oSee has been finding his form lately, as at the Blast Fall groups he had the second highest AWP kills per round and the highest success percentage in his opening duels. So I figured I'd take a look at Liquid to see how they've been setting up oSee so successfully. Let's start with this CT round, where oSee mollies the top mid box despite being smoked off towards window. And then I love how active he is behind these smokes as he goes ahead and fights through them towards A to get this early info and an opening kill. And once he and his teammates see there's not too much more presence towards A, I love how quick he is to get back to B as he figures G2 might be trying to fake out this A play and going for a contact quiet play towards B. And obviously G2 have just seen that AWP towards A, so they're not expecting to run into the AWP on this angle, which nets oSee an easy kill. And it's also way easier to play retake on the A site, especially when you're up in a 5v4. So the only real chance Liquid have of losing this round is if they quickly lost B, which is exactly what oSee perfectly counters with this play. oSee would tend to start most of his CT rounds in window, and here we get a good example of how being molded in the mistakes that NA Counter-Strike constantly makes might have benefited oSee. Not a bad joke, but it's also kind of true because he doesn't move away when he hears this window smoke come in. Instead, he waits to see if any mistake is going to be made by Hooksy, and he does indeed peek before the smoke blooms and gives oSee this opener. And you also see just how comfortable oSee looks now at this level of Counter-Strike with some of these shots he's landing later in the round. And even going for the highlight play after getting the first couple, which obviously isn't the highest percentage chance of winning the round, but Liquid already had this one locked up realistically. And mainly, I just love how comfortable oSee's looking in this clip. Similar to that earlier round, again, once Liquid get the advantage in this one, they decide to play more of a retake stance towards A and send oSee to B to reinforce. And once he misses this first shot, I love how he doesn't instantly re-peek, because he realizes peeking into this angle where you might just have two Ts waiting for you on these different angles of elevation would not be a great fight to take, especially when you can use the advantage of having teammates nearby. And so he waits for Naf to take this fight against JKS. That draws JKS's attention away from oSee so that he can take this fair fight onto the site, and it ends up being a solid 2k, a nice shutdown in a round where some other AWPers might have taken that risk and tried to fight again unnecessarily. On T side, it was more common for oSee to be towards the back, lining up utility, and then just holding angles for his teammates while they took the site. And, ooh, those are some good reactions this time to get Nico out of there. See ya later. The best example of this style of play would have to be this one in round 8, where Liquid are going for this contact play out through Palace using no nades initially. While that's happening, oSee is holding jungle, and then as soon as the smoke lands, his job is just to hold this stairs position. Then once this connector smoke is needed, he quickly goes ahead and throws that on the fly. Then into the post plant, he's got a strong position in Palace, and he continues to just hold and facilitate by locking down the jungle and stairs sorts of angles. And once Elige dies towards ramp, he realizes he's actually the only player near the bomb right now, so it's important he plays for the objective and doesn't die off too soon. He's able to do this by landing some solid shots and also not peeking too soon when this bomb gets tapped, as he realizes his teammates towards mid can now see the bomb. And also, it's another nice shot landed onto Nico. Nicely done. He did also have to combat AWP and go close quarters sometimes. In this one, Yakindar has a feel for the timing, slipping through the smoke, but he loses the first fight, so oSee now has to go through the smoke himself, and Hunter at this point decides to overlook the possibility of this trade. He thinks it's been a little too long, and that allows oSee to sneak in and get this kill close quarters. But most of his work was done, as Liquid would set him up in those longer range angles where he just had to hold the line. Switching over to Vertigo, this is one of the maps where AWPers have to use the rifle a little more often, as it is oftentimes a much closer range map. And it was good to see that oSee can do a solid job with the rifle in this early gun round. Again, it's really nice having Elige and Yakindar leading the way up ramp so that oSee can just be that player sitting back and taking a very comfortable trade kill here. And once left in the 2v4 where he has to make a play, he gets this nice kill onto Cadian, which helps secure the bomb plant in this round. Which may seem like a small win, but keeping the economy close and getting extra money from the bomb plant makes a big difference in the long run. You can see why oSee was most comfortable sitting at the back of ramp in this round, as it's most likely that with the AWP, your best chance of getting a pick is towards this ramp position and seeing if the CTs try and peek you. And that also means you have to make sure to nail these shots, as it's not that likely you're going to get the chance for a pick easily elsewhere. And that's what oSee does here, is he gets this nice opener. And then from here, oSee's got the pick. Now it's his time to set up the riflers to actually take the site. And he has a pretty nice utility set to make this work. First with this molly for close short, then with a flash to follow up in case that molly forced anyone forwards. Then he's got this deeper smoke, which is going to allow Liquid to fully take over the site, as well as a deeper flash so that Liquid can get all that ground, and all this utility helps make sure Liquid get an easy bomb site. And again, here's another example of oSee using some really solid utility to set up his teammates, and why I actually think Vertigo suits his playstyle pretty effectively, because it's not that easy to force openings with the AWP. So instead, he's able to set up this standard smoke for generators and molly for the site, but then also these two flashes to the left, which end up completely owning Shush, allowing Nitro to get this entry, and yet again, getting Liquid that site control and showing that oSee has some of that versatility. For an AWPer of oSee's style, I always feel like it's very important that when you whiff your first easy shot, you don't just completely collapse and you know how to fall back from that. And that's what oSee does here. This should have been a solid crossfire between him and Yakindar, but the movement, I think, throws him off on the first shot. Then he also whiffs the second, but eventually he does make up for it, and then is also able to creatively flash high to do just enough to blind this player for another kill. And then on this final one, he's already got the call that Yabi's coming from this position. And despite coming out of a hectic situation, he doesn't fall for these jiggle peaks. He bides his time before he's certain he can land the shot. And this is a nice example of showing some composure in a position where oSee will have felt like he made an early mistake by missing those shots and let down his teammate, which is another good sign for his progression as a player. And then this final round is an example of oSee taking a little initiative and switching up his position as he goes for this pick towards mid, which he is able to land successfully. And I just love how cohesive this Team Liquid lineup feels right now, because I would say oSee is a little more on the conservative side for AWPers, but I think that actually fits in this team when you have players like Elige and Yakindar who are already going to be playmakers, as well as Nitro, who will often go in first if it is more of a set play. And as the round goes on in this one, oSee is left in this retake. He's able to hold the line and get the final kill to take this map win. All in all, I love how this Liquid roster's roles just make a lot of sense. And I also love where oSee fits into that as someone who is probably never going to be a crazy flashy AWPer, but someone who is a really solid piece to this team. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, why not check out another one? I made this video over here on Spinks from the same Blast groups. Oh, and by the way, I had to use this home phone for something. Hope you like that little bit at the start. Bye? Oh my god. Oh, I don't know how to do outros. Jesus.